please welcome the fabulous Supermasi, also known as Snehal Devani.
I know. This is the bossy one. So good evening, everyone, and happy birthday, Dad. It is so wonderful seeing all of you here in one room together, celebrating with Dad on his 90th birthday. All of you being here is a true testament to who he is, a true ambassador of the Devani and the Parikshak family. When I was trying to come up with what I wanted to say, I thought back to many speeches that I've heard along the way. And I figured I want to keep it real. Everyone always talks about people as if they're the best thing that happened to this world. But, I figured I should keep it real and kind of talk about the negatives as well. So I'm just going to walk you through the process of how I tried to come up with this. So I decided I should categorize. First one was family. To summarize what family means to Dad, I had never used the word cousin until I moved to London, and people just didn't understand why I had so many brothers and sisters who had birthdays pretty much every day of the year. So I finally had to coin the word cousin. To Dad, family was, fortunately, as much as family was important to Dad, it was also important to Mom. And for Mom and Dad, siblings were not only about the offspring of their parents. It actually extended to everybody. And I think Kishore Kaka and Chandra Kaka, who are here, will be able to attest to that. Same thing applied to our cousins, who we never called cousins. They were always brother and sister. Because to Mom and Dad, their love was spread evenly across the board. The fact that Kanan and I were born to them only meant that they had to take care of us. They had to pay for us. And they did, and deal with all our shenanigans, and I gave him a good run for his money. So, I'm sorry. So what I realized when Mom passed away was that everybody felt that they were the most important to Mom. I remember this conversation. I remember 5 or 6 people coming up to us saying, I was your mom's best friend. I think by the time the 3rd or 4th person came up, me and Kanan looked at each other and said, should we tell them they've got competition in the room? And then one of the kakis, it was Rohini Kaki, who said, the nicest part about Manjula Bhabhi is that she had this way of making everybody feel that they were the most important to them. And Dad has exactly the same quality. He is able to make everyone feel that they are the most important to them. And that was also proven even more so by the amount of love and support we had from everybody in the family in making this event what it is today. So I'd like to, I'm not going to say thank you, because you know what, I've had to share him. He's my father, I've had to share him because he doesn't really think that I'm the most important, which I should be. So I'm not going to say thank you. I think it's just fitting that all of you were that involved in his birthday today. So obviously there was nothing to find in this category, so we're moving on. In my speech, this category went out of the window. The next one was him as a husband. In the 33 years that I witnessed my father and mother as a couple, there was one time that they argued over directions. And I made such a big deal out of it that Dad took me out of the car, pulled me aside, and said, if you want to go back to London, I think it was at that time, it's like, if you want to go back to London, you can go back tomorrow. But don't ever make a big deal about this again. And that was literally the only time I saw them. I don't even think you can call it an argument. Mom was telling him you can go this way and that way, and he was like, give me one way I can go. And to me, that was a big deal. So they never, ever argued. They treated each other with so much love and so much respect. And they were not dependent on each other either. They were very independent, very smart, very very, people of the world, but they complemented each other perfectly, absolutely perfectly. And I think everybody who knows mom and dad in this room would attest to that. So while mom passed away at 62, the one thing that provided us solace was there was never anything she wanted when she left. She had everything she wanted. And things that she didn't want, which were ridiculous, like one Jaguar and one Mercedes, even though she didn't drive, were just, going to come as soon as the garage was ready. So she never felt like she was missing something or she didn't have something. Dad supported her in all her craziness, in her shopping and everything. He would ask her every once in a while when her import-export business was going to stop, but never really stopped her from doing that. The only thing that I could remember in this was that he couldn't remember dates. So we had to tell him the day before her birthday that, Dad, it's her birthday tomorrow. Dad, it's your anniversary tomorrow. And he would quickly wish her, because within 5 minutes it was forgotten. But now he's turned that around too. He's the first person to wish on the family WhatsApp pages, and he'll write all these wonderful comments, and I'm sure all the Devani family members can attest to that as well. So that also was defunct. So I couldn't even use that as my speech. So I didn't have anything at this point. Next category was talent and smarts. I have personally looked up to him for how well-versed he is in everything. Politics, current topics, finance, anything. Anything you ask him, he can go on. Technology. I mean, for God's sake, he's 90. He didn't have technology. In fact, when he left Pfizer, he had just about got a computer on his desk. And because I was taking computer science, he bought me an XT. And I remember I was on the phone one day, I think Surendra Mama called, and I was on the phone, and I come back to the computer, and here's Dad typing. You stupid computer, where are my files? What have you done with it? I just typed something, where are you? I'm like, Dad, I don't think they talk to you like this. You're gonna have to do something better. Anyway, he would call me many a time saying, I wrote all this up and my files disappeared. I'm like, Dad, they don't disappear. I promise you, they don't disappear. Well, 2 years later, Ramesh Masa called, and he was telling me how you helped him fix his computer problems. I was like, what did he do? Is your computer even alive? And he goes, actually, it's never been better. So even that went out of the window. So there was my one more category that went out of the window. I was pretty sure I could get something on talent or on technology. So next and last category was his relationship with me. And I think everyone knows I love him to pieces. But he fights with me. He fights with me on everything. I tell him, Dad, you have to go business class. You have to go first class. Nope, I'm not going to do that. It's a 5-hour flight. By the time I get on the flight, by the time they give me some food, it's going to be time to deplane. So it's not worth it. And I'll fight, and he won't listen. If I go shopping and I buy all these bags, and I do, and Amazon boxes, him and Amar give me the most hard time about that. He will ask me why I'm buying all this stuff, and he'll give me a hard time about it. If I buy him tickets, or if we buy tickets to a show and it's expensive, he'll give me a hard time about that. He'll give me a hard time about a nice staycation over here. But when I told Kanan I was going to use this as my category, she said, you know what, this makes you look bad. You fight with Dad all the time, and you're probably the only person that fights with Dad. And I think other than Silver Sands folks, I think that's true. So, in conclusion, Dad, I have actually nothing on my speech. There's nothing I can figure out that I can keep real. So, having said that, I love you very much. And I know you have been there for me for every good occasion, but also whenever I've had challenges, and I've had a lot, and I've put you through a lot. But thank you very much. I love you, and enjoy this day, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
So the next one is when you're 100. Bharat?